Welcome, my name is Cindy and I'm with Junkbox Studio. Today we are using this Waverly chalk paint in the color Pool and a Hershey's tin that I already started painting. I am going to use a sea sponge for easier application and better coverage. I do end up doing about 3 coats on this. And so we're just going to get this all painted up here. And I wanted to show you a little trick. If you put your projects into a box and then you put your either if you're using a hair dryer or the one of those heat guns, and you create kind of a circulation in there, that will help your project dry a little bit quicker. And so now what I'm going to do is coffee stain this paper with a little bit of instant coffee. Make sure it's mixed really well so you don't get any granules. And I'm just doing a light to medium coat. I don't want this to be too dark. I want to keep the entire project on the lighter side. And I'm trying something that I've never done before, believe it or not, and that is the salt texture. And so I'm just sprinkling some of that salt there and drying it. And I'm so thrilled with how this turned out. It's just, I just love it. I want to do more of this. And look at the texture. Isn't that amazing? Okay, and so we're just going to wipe away all of the salt. And it does end up being pretty smooth. That way when I go to use my stencil, it won't create any obstructions or anything. So yeah, it's a nice, really smooth surface, and I just love this speckling effect. It's so pretty. And so here we go with a nice shot there. Really, really nice. Sorry, it's up so close. I'm just so excited about it. But yeah, okay, so now I have these stencils. I got these on Temu. I don't have an affiliation link with Temu. And so I'm just checking some of the styles of these. The more I look at them, I realize that they are themed. And so like the Bordeaux one was for wine. That one is for perfume, I believe. And this one is for, I think it was for flowers. But I end up using these stencils in sections because I'm working with a restricted space. I kind of hand pick which designs I want to use, and I'll be showing you that here in just a minute. So I'm going with this stencil first, and that top portion, the wording there does not fit on the circle, but I do really like the filigree here. And so it doesn't fit, you know, the little end swirlies don't fit in the circle, but I'm using that middle section of the filigree. Okay, so now you guys, I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm so thrilled that I have this option. You know, normally with stencils you use paint, but the paint is so unpredictable. Even though I'm able to do light applications and make it work, it's still a little sketchy. So I thought, why not try using ink? And so I'm just going for it. I have a brush there that I really like. It's a short bristle brush that's stiff enough to get into the stencil. And I hold my breath, but it worked. I can't believe it. I now have a second option for my stencils. And so I'm liking them more and more. Okay, so I'm just using that section, and now I'm going to piece together from a different stencil that's going to fit into this circle. And so I'm just going to let you guys watch here for a minute as I add on the layers. Okay, so I'm taking that and I'm flipping it upside down just to complete this entire image. And I'm leaving a little bit of space between the bottom of the circle and this filigree here, and you'll see why in a minute. Once I put it into the tin, I'm going to be adding some, not the moss, but the Excelsior. And so I don't want the Excelsior, so you can see here how there's about an inch there of spacing. And so I'm going to be putting Excelsior in the tin, and I don't want the Excelsior to cover up any of the stencil there. And so that's why I did that. And so now I'm just taking my same color ink. It is the Tim Holtz Distressing Ink in a brown, and going around the edges with a dauber. It's my new favorite trick. I just love it so much. I just think this whole thing is so beautiful, and I could do this all day long. And so now what we're going to do is take all of our hard work and crumple it up. I know it's kind of awkward to do, but I guess you get used to it. And so I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper. I'm not going to dig in too much. It's a really light sanding. I don't want to take away from the ink because it's already on the lighter side. So this is just a light sanding just to give it a slight wear. And now I'm throwing that Mod Podge in there. And so I wanted to mention, you know, in a previous video I had talked about when I cut out images, I don't get too precise anymore. You know, I guess they call it like a fussy cut. And so I measured this pretty well with the tin, but whatever's left over, I just throw it in and press it into the edges. You know, I used to get really precise and have to have everything meet right at the seam, and I just don't do that anymore. I just you know, cut it out, throw it in, and when you press it to the sides, it'll kind of create a slight lip around the edges, but it's better than cutting yourself short and you know, really missing out like on a little piece that's kind of too short. So I'd rather overcut than undercut, and it all works out. So yeah, I just press out all the wrinkles. You know, I know some people get really particular about wrinkling, but you can just literally take a clean cloth and press them all down, and it works out. Even if you do have a little bit of wrinkling, it just adds to the texture and vintage look. It's fine. And so now what we're going to do is take that Excelsior, and you'll see where I mentioned before at the bottom, I left a little bit of space between that last stencil and the tin. That way the Excelsior won't cover up any of the that filigree, because it's so pretty. I wanted to, you know, have as much of that show as possible. And with a little bit of hot glue, I just throw that in there. And so now I wanted to add just a little bit of some interest to the entire piece, and I'm taking an old bird stamp that I have and the same original brown ink there from the stencil, and I'm just going to get that bird stamp down and just do a little fussy cut around the edges. Okay, so you guys, I just realized that the music that I put in this video that's playing right now is a birthday song. And I liked how it sounded when I was looking for music for the video, but it didn't sound like a happy birthday. But anyways, it's kind of ironic because yesterday was my birthday, and so I'm just gonna leave it, and I hope you enjoy it. So now I am going to add a hanger for this, and I'm just going to kind of just go for it and hammer a nail through there and kind of eyeball the measurements based off of the stencil. And I hope you don't mind my hammer there. I just don't like the sight of having a hammer around in my my art space, so I use that wood post thing there, and it's a lot quieter than a hammer, and it's just nice. But anyways, yeah, so I'm hammering a little nail in to get a hole going, and it works out pretty good. And so I'm taking a little bit of twine. I like this twine. It is a vintage white, and I'm pretty sure I got this at, I think, the Dollar Tree. I'm not totally sure about that, but you could pretty much find it anywhere. And so it's just a vintage white, really pretty. It goes with the filigree, and so I can string that in there and just do about 3 knots and finish it off with a little bit of hot glue so it's nice and clean. I'd like to take a moment just to ask any new viewers or returning to please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. The YouTube algorithm really notices when viewers leave comments, and it'll send your video out to a lot more people, and it really helps grow the channel fast. I've grown quite a bit in the last couple of months, and it was because of all of you guys, and I really thank you. I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.